To excel at learning anything, you already know that you need to get good sleep and exercise, so I won't tell you any more of that. Instead, this video will focus on lesser known things that you can do to learn coding faster, things that have actually helped me and that you might not have heard about before. The first thing you need to do is to pick a language. A lot of beginner developers get stuck at this stage. The truth is that it doesn't matter much, they're all pretty similar in that each one you write code that tells the computer to do something. Bonus points if the code you write can also be understood by a human. If you're struggling to pick a language, pick Python and think no more about it. It's easy to get started and you'll make progress fast. But if you've got some preference of what you like to do, then pick a language based on that instead. For example, if you'd like to get into web development, get started with HTML, CSS and JavaScript. If you're building mobile apps, I'd recommend Flutter. For video games, knowing C++ will get you far. That is all you need to know when it comes to picking a language. From here on, you're no longer allowed to be stuck at this stage. If you still are, just pick Python. Many people say they want to learn coding, but few people take action. Coding is difficult, particularly when you're new and especially if you're learning on your own. That's why I recommend using a timetable so that you'll be able to just get it done. I structure my entire life using a calendar, because otherwise I would forget to do things. You don't have to be quite as extreme, but pick a time every day or every other day to learn coding. And make a visual reminder, whether it's a slot in your calendar or a piece of paper on your desk. Even if you only stick to this 50% of the time, it's still a win. The hardest part is getting started, so if you can do that regularly, you'll be a developer in no time. So far, we've picked a language and set out a time for when to actually practice coding. The next step is to avoid the most common pitfall I've seen when it comes to learning to code: getting stuck in tutorial hell. Tutorial hell is when you spend all your time watching tutorials and no time actually writing code, because it's easier and more comfortable that way. Tutorials are great and you'll need them for the rest of your life if you're set on becoming a coder, but if you're never writing code, you'll never learn how to write code. When you're first getting started, watch no more than 3 hours of tutorials for your programming language. Then go make something. You can watch my portfolio video to see what I've made, but my general recommendation is starting out with something easy, such as a text adventure game, and as you make that thing, that is when you watch tutorials. And go on like that for the rest of your coding life. If you ever get stuck procrastinating, remind yourself why you're doing this. Yes, learning to code is hard, but what are the benefits you'll receive? What is the long-term goal here? A job, your own business, maybe a hobby. If you've got no reason to do it, it's going to be very difficult and you'll ultimately end up giving up. So write down what motivates you and look at it whenever you need to. Also, make the most of the tools available to you. Do use GitHub Copilot or my personal favorite, ChatGPT-4, to learn faster and even to suggest code for you. The reason I recommend this is because it will put you closer to a real-world situation. In my job as a software developer, I couldn't go a day without these. So remember, pick a language, set a designated time for coding, avoid tutorial hell, remind yourself why you're doing it, and use all available resources. I believe in you. Thank you for watching my video, and good luck with your coding journey.